Yeah, come on in here, Marcus. How you doing tonight, driver?
Oh man, I'm doing all right. About y'all?
Man, we blessed, brother. We blessed down here on the Gulf Coast here in North Florida, man. That's what we like to hear. You doing good. You trucking tonight?
Oh yeah, I figured I'd drop in while I got a little battery left.
I heard that.
Uh, yeah, I miss. There's a lot of old truck stops that's starting to fade out, and it's getting worse. It ain't. I don't look forward to getting any better either.
Hey, all we got some stories and memories. And memories, they might take the truck stops, but they can't take the memories away from us, right?
No, they can't take it. That all belongs to us. And I was digging through some pictures the other day. I come from a long line of drivers. My dad, he was a driver. I got uncles that drove, and he used to own trucks. We had about 3, and then I had a couple of them myself. Been around them all my life, and it's always been an interesting way of life. It's kind of like being in the mafia. You'll leave it for a little while, but you always get pulled right back in.
That's what they say. You get that diesel in your blood, you can't get it out.
Nope, they can't put it in you, and they can't take it out of you.
Yes, sir. We done had Mr. M.O. pop in here on us. Mr. M.O., if y'all give him a follow, too, he's got some great content. Him and his cab over Hank. Good looking old cab over Pete.
Yeah, I've seen M.O. and Hank. Only thing is, I know my big brother had to stay in that cab over.
Oh, man, I'd enjoy it, man.
Yeah, I just got another big ride myself. I've been running concrete, and man, it's just big old boy like me and you. I can't stay cooped up.
Oh, yeah.
So I took over.
Good, Mr. M.O. What kind of ride, what kind of truck you got now? What you riding in now?
I'm ended up with 06 379. It's
man.
it's a nice truck.
You
Very
got
nice.
One, got a cat in it?
Yeah, it's got the cat in. It's got the NXS model.
Oh, yeah.
And I took it out for a spin today. We hauled a couple of those over to Simsboro. And I told the guy that owned it, I said, I drove a lot of nice Peterbilts, and I ain't never drove one like this.
Oh, man.
It's been dolled up and well taken care of.
I tell you what, they ain't nothing like driving a nice truck, especially something you really like, man. It's just a good feeling. It gives you a sense of pride, too.
It does, and I mean, the truck it's a type of truck, I don't think you can put anything else on it. I mean, you could if you wanted to, but for what he's built, I wouldn't.
What kind of transmission you running in it?
It's got the 18 speed in it.
Oh, man, you got, man. Get on down the road with that thing. Yes, sir.
It's definitely a man. I mean, it's got the horses. And which I bought my first truck. My first truck had the 400 big cam Cummins in it.
Oh, yeah.
And that is something that a lot of them guys my age, they ain't never seen. I pulled into the, what is that? Speed Code right to the other side of Greenwood.
Yep.
And the truck was an 89 International 9300. And I pulled in there, and then I pulled the hood back, getting ready to do a service on it. The guy walks up and says, where's the computer at? I said, I ain't got one. And he said, speedometer work? I said, probably not since early 90s.
Wow.
I said, but the RPM gauge, all the rest of the gauges work. I said, that speedometer don't work. So they got to looking around and everything, and they said, what kind of engine is this? I said, it's a 400 big cam.
Ooh.
I said, y'all ain't never seen one? He said, oh, no, we've never seen one like this. All the Cummins we get to see are red now. I said, yeah, this is long before red, partner.
Oh, yeah. That's back when Cummins made a motor back in the day.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I had an old 400 big cam in I think it was 86 International I drove. Old long hood. It was a good truck. Had old 9-speed in it, but I thought I was doing something.
That's what this one had. It had that 9-speed in it and the 355 rears. And I pulled the truck out of a briar thicket. I paid $2,000 cash for it.
Wow.
Me and Dad, we worked around the clock. When we wasn't trucking, we were natural gas mechanics, so we knew how to turn a wrench. So we went through everything and got it going. I drove it home on 3 brakes. There was airlines missing. There was all kind of crap missing.
Oh, wow.
So about $4,000 later, I had a jam up truck. I miss that truck every day.
Oh, yeah.
The only thing I don't miss was having to climb my big butt through that T-hole to get in that bent sleeper on there.
That's the way that International was I drove. It had a little hole in the wall right there. And I was a lot bigger back then. I probably had about 80 extra pounds on me. I mean, you talking about it was like watching a St. Bernard climb through a little Chihuahua doggy door or whatever.
I felt like a whale caught a fish net. What I feel like, I'm 6'1" and about 380 pounds, and it was a sight to see trying to get dressed and make that thing work. But the hard work paid off. So I paid for that old truck several times over, and I should have my butt kicked for getting rid of it. It was probably one of the best trucks I ever had. And I miss it every day. And the guy that owns it, he lives right up from here in Rouge. And I could probably go buy the truck back at any time, but things have been kind of tight, so we're just trying to maintain, get rid of debt, and just get by.
Oh, yeah.
But eventually I'm going to buy another one. It's coming.
Yeah. A lot of people call me crazy, but I'm about convinced I get back where I need to be, I'm going to have to buy me one. I've got to at least give it a try that way I can say I've done it. You know what I mean?
That's it. You know, you build all that time making everybody else's living. You're building their dreams. You're not getting a chance to really build yours.
Exactly, man. I get tired of working for somebody and making them rich and all that, or at least I feel like I'm making them rich. You know what I mean?
Well, it ain't worth a flip. You know, you out there running their truck and they call you from a cruise ship. How's everything going? You know, and I'm sitting there going. And they don't even bring you back a T-shirt.
I'm up here deer hunting in Illinois or somewhere exotic, Montana, while you down there fighting sleep to stay awake, making me money.
Exactly.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and I've had that happen to me several times. And I come home, I was working for a guy, and he couldn't keep his stuff running. I tried to help. And so I done bought him International. I finally just threw my hands up. I said, well, it's time to pull the trigger. So August of that year, I think it was in 2021, something like that, I started to harvest here in Louisiana. And done pretty good, pulled off of that, went to pulling cottonseed, and we made it. I made a pretty good living.
Good old hopper bottom.
Oh, yeah. What are we? Welfare wagon, what we call them.
That's about the way a chip wagon or a log trailer is around here now.
Well, I made money on chips. I made money from hauling chips and lumber and steel, stuff like that. With that hopper bottom, man, I watched my dad struggle with it. I watched several people around here struggle with it. And I would hate to know that I owned an $80,000 truck and a $30,000 trailer and just sitting in the driveway and not doing anything. That would
that'd hurt your feelings in your pocketbook. Yep.
Exactly. And I know there's a couple guys out here that's going through that right now because the price is not there. They try to haul it cheap as they can get it hauled.
Yep.
And they don't realize that a gallon of oil is still, $20 a gallon, $30 a gallon, depending on what you buy. Grease is still, anywhere from 40 to 50 a case, depending on what you get. Yeah. Steer tires are still 600 plus.
It's crazy what tires and fuel. Something's got to give eventually.
Yeah, so they don't think about the upkeep. They think you just hit the key and get down the road with them. But it's a lot that goes in them.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you'll never get back what you put in it.
No, you're right about that. But I think I firmly believe in my heart that the trucking industry, it's got real bad, but it's got to get better because they've I don't know if they've been busting people out in Louisiana. Like in Florida, you can go by them mag stations and what we got out here. DOT's taking people to jail left and right that are illegal and all that, and they are enforcing the fire out over here in Florida. So that's open up a lot of jobs.
So far, Arkansas has been my favorite, buddy. Arkansas is not playing.
Right.
They have never played. And when all this rolled out, I told a buddy of mine, I said, get ready. I said, Arkansas DOT stations will be full of out-of-service trucks.
I've been seeing on social media where they've been lighting them up there in Arkansas.
Yeah, they had one other day I was watching. It was here on TikTok. And this DOT officer handing this guy, it must have been like 7 or 8 citations. He had been stopped in Arizona and should have been put out of service. He should still be in Arizona. But he checked in this scale. I don't know if it was Ohio or Indiana, somewhere in the Northeast. None of his ELD was validated. Nothing was up to date. He failed the literacy test. And I'm sitting here going, why is he still on the highway then?
Wow.
So it's messed up. And I realize, and I'm not wanting to get into politics.
I don't neither, but the facts are facts.
but you got these Democratic states out here.
Yep.
They're going to let them slide.
Yep.
So
that's just what I was thinking. You just saying what I was thinking.
Oh yeah, but I seen the other day where AOC was talking about pulling up to the south, and I'm sitting here going, I said, little lady, you might want to stay where you are.
Never happened.
Yeah, you get south of Tennessee north border, you're in a whole different world, honey.
Yeah, darling, it'd be best for y'all to just keep that foolishness up there where it belongs at.
That's it. Keep it up there. We don't want it down here. My God.
That's right, man.
That's just like here in Louisiana. We got a governor. God bless him. He's not playing. He's just as common down to earth as we are, and he's not playing around. And matter of fact, I got laughed at him. They had a shooting the other day in Baton Rouge, and spent a few weeks ago, and he was pitching a fit, and they were recording the whole time he's pitching fit. He said, I'm done with them. We got 40,000 acres down in Angola. Put them on it.
Man, I watched a documentary on that place. That's a bad place to be right there.
My great-grandpa, he was there in the 30s, and he retired from there. And then I had a couple uncles, they worked there and retired from there. I was going to go. I thought, boy, it'd be neat to work field patrol. I went down on a school field trip. I was probably about 6th grade, 7th grade. And man, when they shut them gates behind you, that's a different world.
Wow.
You ain't done no wrong, and you can feel the chill. And that was something to see, the museum and all of that they have down there. I recommend to anybody, if you got a chance to go by and see it, it's some interesting stuff there in Angola. And then, of course, right there at St. Francisville, you got Myrtle Plantation. That's another hot spot you need to check out.
Oh, yeah.
And, yeah, it was interesting. I think the youngest person to ride the Lightning in Angola was 18 years old.
Wow, man.
If I remember correctly, he was young. He was 18, 19, somewhere around in that area.
Oh, yeah.
So,
that's crazy.
But that old commissioner down there, when we went, he was telling us all kind of horror stories. They would get one in there in circulation. If they didn't want him there, he didn't make it through the night.
Oh, yeah.
And I figure it's still that way.
Yes, sir.
I don't figure much has changed since Burl Cain left.
Mm-hmm.
Burl Cain, he was probably one of the best wardens they had, in my opinion. But it's a different world down there.
I tell you what, it's crazy.
It is. But all we can do is observe, adapt, and overcome. That's all we can do.
Hey, that's all we can do, brother. You right about that.
That's all we can do. But so what exactly do you haul?
I haul logs. Been doing a lot of logging is what I've been doing.
Yeah, I used to do that in my younger days.
Yeah, I've logged probably the last 10, 12 years. I've went back on the road, done a little bit here, there, and yonder, but you know what I mean. Mr. M.O., you can come on here with us if you want to. Mr. M.O., you know M.O., don't you?
Yeah, I've seen him on here before.
Man, I love his content. He got some awesome content. Old Texas boy.
Yeah, that's a sharp old cab over he's got.
That's one of the sharpest cab overs on social media, my opinion. It's fixed up, clean, and old school. Man, I love it.
A friend of mine right down where I live at here at Liddyville, he's got his dad's cab over. And I remember seeing a truck when I was a kid. It's OK100. It's got a 400 in it. It's a 73 model. And I didn't know in 73 they had air ride.
Oh, wow.
This baby's air ride, and it's all complete. Everything's there. The only thing that's damaged on it The AC condenser went out. Of course, Kenworth for the longest, their grill was actually the condenser on the front of the truck. It's like old Hank, him and old Hank has joined, hasn't he?
Yes, sir. Welcome in, Mr. M.O.
Well, how y'all degenerates doing this evening?
Hey, we faking it till we make it, Mr. Truck Driver.
That's it. We just smiling and waving.
What? I bet you never guessed, but I'm sitting here drinking me an ice cold Coors beer in a can.
That's just what I was fixing to ask you if you was drinking you one of them. That used to be my beer choice.
Of course I am, boy.
Yes, sir.
Let me ask you this now: are you west of Texas? I mean, you can't be having that Coors east of Texas. They tell me it's still illegal.
Port Aransas, Texas, just north of Corpus Christi.
Oh wow!
Well, I know where Port Aransas is at. My ex-wife, her family had a beach house down there close to Mustang Island, and we would go down there from time to time.
Okay.
And, used to be a little old place right there at Aransas called City Tortilla, and that place made a fat boy happy at breakfast time.
Ooh,
well, I'll tell you what, y'all boys, I enjoy listening to old Swampy. He always comes on there, and he gives me a like and a comment, and I appreciate that.
Hey, I appreciate you, man. I enjoy your content. I really do.
Yeah, we like saying that old Peterbilt.
Well, it's one of 7 I have. So I own 7 trucks.
Oh, wow.
Y'all just don't see all of them.
Oh, okay.
You could see a couple of them, or I might sneak one in here or there, incognito in a video, but no, sir, it's just me and old Hank. This old daddy's Hank, My daddy bought this brand new. And matter of fact, he drove it off the assembly line in Denton brand new in 1985. So,
do you still have people ask you what year it is since you put your sticker on there?
Well, there are some stupid people out there, ain't there?
Well, sometimes you got to draw it out in crayon.
Oh, yeah.
Well, unfortunately, not everyone can be as smart as we are now, can they?
That's right. That's exactly right.
No doubt.
I just had me a coffee cup live this morning, and I was just telling them all boys on there. I just bought me another Peterbilt here 2 days ago. So that one's going to be cooking. I got my boy. He's going to fly up to Wisconsin. We're going to get back to South Texas. I bought it when I was drinking beer with an old boy up in Wisconsin up at the bar.
That's when we have the best buy start.
Now I got to deal with it.
Well, I got my dad. He's currently he's got an 83 359. And man, he bought the truck. And thank God for what's that parts company up here out of Oklahoma? Vander Hagen.
You got Wilkins there out of Tonkawa, and then you got that old Vander Hagen.
Vanderhag. If it wasn't for them, I don't think old daddy would have survived. The wiring harness in that truck was screwed. It had some of them method drivers in it. Man, they tweaked and pulled wire here, there, and yonder. He probably got 2 5-gallon buckets of wire out of the dash. And he's just got the wiring harness back in it. And he's getting everything buttoned up, but we're still having trouble trying to find. I think we got like 3 or 4 wires. We can't figure out where they go. And the only thing I can think of, it may have just been an option they had back in the day, and that option's not there. But I'm ready to see that old girl run. And I've been trying to find an 85 359. And they're hard to come by. When you do find them, they're just about all the pieces.
Or they want an arm and a leg for them if you find a good.
They see it. They can be sitting on block, Swampy, and they'll want $30,000 for them. They ain't got no rear ends in them or nothing.
Especially down here in Florida, around here. Yeah, I don't know. I guess they think they're worth more because they in the state of Florida. I don't know. I ain't figured that out yet.
Well, go ahead, Mr. M.O.
They pretty proud of them 59s. I've got an 87 359.
Oh man,
it belonged to my uncle, brand new. I do
Number?
have that truck. No, sir. No, sir. It's not a number truck. It's not a number truck, but it's special to us.
Yeah.
That was my daddy's brother. And then my son is hauling cows for me. I grew up in livestock. My daddy started trucking cows in 1951. I've been into it ever since, and done it all my life until I decided I was going to slow down a little bit here in the recent. And so I bought a brand new 379 in 1996, and now my son, who's going to be 27 years old, is running that truck for me now.
Wow,
So
keep it in the family. That's what I'm
that
talking
is,
about.
that's why I like to run old Hank. Hank belonged to my daddy, and my boy runs my 379, so it's kind of special.
Well, I tried to hang on to what Daddy's got, but man, he's a wheeler and dealer. It'll be there today and gone tomorrow. I told him, I said, Daddy, I kind of like to hang on to one of them trucks because we put a lot of work in them, bringing them back and going through them and stuff. And I helped him overhaul one, and we got the Detroit put back in and everything. We done a complete out of frame on a D-Deck 4. And he cranked it up and he said, boy, that sounds good. He said, you know what sounds even better? I said, what's that? He said, money in your pocket. He said, I'm going to put her up for sale. I said, we just got it running. I said, why don't you turn a little money with it first? And he kept it about 2 or 3 months. And then he said, Marcus, he said, it's got to go. And his health's declining and it's getting worse. And I understand. And, yeah, he sold the truck and trailer, and I seen it the other day. They done trashed it. I mean, we put a lot of work and time and effort to bring that truck back, and you'll never get back what you put in it. But it hurts my heart to see the truck in the shape that it's in. But
now you said Detroit. Now that D-Deck 4. Now that's a fine engine. Now
I tell you what, I've had a lot of success with Detroit. I love my cats and older Cummins, but I've been doing a lot of Detroit work. Matter of fact, are y'all familiar with the Keith Trucking Show? He was Lisa Mercer. He had a purple and black Freightliner Classic, and I had reached out to him. He was having trouble. He was getting pressure back up in his reservoir. Oh. And a certain shop in Georgia and across the United States, they're notorious for taking care of fleets. I'm not going to name the name. But they had pulled his truck in and done an injector job. Mm-hmm. And I reached out to him. I told him, I said, I tell you what, I said, here's my credentials, make a few calls. I'll take a crack at it. So he got in touch with Daryl Parker down here, a guy I've done several overhauls with. And Daryl told him, he said, Marcus is Scooby-Doo. He said, if it's a mystery, he'll find it. Just bring it to him.
That's a good one right there.
He gets it to me. I break it open. There's 5 head bolts, no washers on them. I start pulling injectors. There's no O-rings down in the cups. And you have a fat O-ring that rides down in the cup, and you set the injector down in there, and it's a fail-safe. And what it does, it prevents that injector from going down, and it prevents that cup from coming up in case something happens. And it'll maintain pressure through the head to keep your coolant flowing. And none of that was in there. I took pictures and documented. I sent it to him. And I asked him, I said, how long has the head been on there? And he said, the head I just put on there a year ago. I said, well, it looks like it was built on Friday at 5 o'clock. Wow. I said, you've got oil all through your exhaust. I said, you've got oil on the intake side. I said, the seals are no good. So I sent it out to Columbia Diesel down at Columbia, Mississippi. Corey and they do fine work down there. They turned the head for me, sent it back. We got him strapped up and ready to go right before Christmas. And he was actually had it back out. And I told him, I said, before you go viral on TikTok, I said, let's run it a month. I said, after a month, we can go, you tell them about it, And the truck made a month. And matter of fact, he sold it the other day. And I told him, the young man that bought it, actually, want to know more about it. And I sent him some information and stuff. And I told him, I said, look, if you're not satisfied with it, I'd love to buy it. It's a great truck. And I said, that Detroit, it'll make you money. I mean, they're real good about sipping fuel. And now that one that Keith was running, it was actually what they call a HK60. It's a 14 liter built like a 12.7. Mm-hmm. They make stupid horsepower. They come from the factory pumping like 575.
That was like the 14.1 they made or whatever, wasn't it, Marcus?
Yeah, it's 14.0.
Yeah.
And but it looks like a 12.7 because your newer style 14 liters, the cam is in its own housing on the side, on the gear side. All right, well, 12.7, they're enclosed in the front cover. So when you pull the cam, you gotta take the plate off the front cover, pull the gear, pull the through bolt through the gear, get it out, and then you can, do whatever you want to do with the cam, kick it back, leave it in the head or whatever. With that 14 liter new style, like 08, 09, somewhere around in there, you got to unbolt that housing off the side of the front cover, and then you can go ahead and pull the cam out and then pull your head. So, but like MO said, they're a fine engine.
Oh, yeah.
They sure are. I do remember when the 11 liter, I might be a little bit long in the tooth. I can remember when they come out.
That was D-Day too, wasn't it?
Yes, sir. That little old 11 liter. And we're all Peterbilt. Daddy always said, there's only one truck ever built, and it's Peterbilt. All the rest of it, you just pay by the pound.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Ain't no class in fiberglass.
Y'all gonna make me.
Daddy said.
Just for you, Mr. Emmo, I'm gonna do this. I'll be right back. Yep.
Look at that now.
That's better right there, ain't it, driver?
That's a heck of a lot better. Boy, I tell you what, that improve your looks 200% there, boy. I tell you what.
Oh, man.
Be like I pulled in the truck stop here a while back, and old boy was, which I know has been a running joke, but old boy was driving a company truck. He said, man, that Caterpillar, I said, I know don't get no fuel miles. He said, man, that Peter, he said, what do you get with that truck? I said, laid. That son looked at me. He said, what? I said, laid. Oh, I was wondering about the fuel miles. I said, well, you got the money. You ain't got to worry about the fuel miles. I said, the way this works, never mind the mule. You just load the wagon. That's how this works. And he still didn't get what I was saying, Mr. Emmo.
We got somebody else coming in here with us. I think you sent him in here, Mr. Emmo.
That's a friend. That's a friend of mine.
If he's a friend of yours, he's a friend of mine. Come on.
He's a good old friend of mine. Fellas?
What's going on, driver?
Come on in, the water's fine.
That's right. Welcome to the Pulpwood podcast.
Mo, did you bring enough beer?
Yep, y'all. Well, you sure know I did. I'm still chiseling away at that 30 pack there with him.
I got to run back here and find a phone charger.
Y'all don't know how many times I get on the fuel island and I ease up with that old Pete. Yeah.
Well, I know I got laughed at one time.
I pulled in the fuel mileage you get with that?
Well, if it's anything like what I used to run in a cab over, you get about 3 gallons to the mile. You got a yellow and red spring and a number 6 button and 3 shims. That'll do it.
On a pot, the old Hanky, he run about 3.84 mile per gallon on a pot. On this ice box, being kind of nice with him and just hitting that right lane and just easing on and watching the world go by, and you just put on little Hank Williams and kind of watch that scenery go by. And, I'll do about 4.5 to 4.7. That's if I'm just kind of strolling along, being kind of nice to everybody.
It's hard to just stroll along though whenever you got all that motor under the hood though, ain't it? Up under the sitting
Well,
up under you.
I do. You know, you gonna try and get me going on about them yellow motors, ain't you, Swampy? You gonna get my blood pressure going, get me all
Oh man.
riled up.
No, you know truck drivers don't do that kind of stuff. Come on now.
No, no, sir, no, sir. I
Man, we
know
don't
that.
we don't talk our smack like that. Come on, we gentlemen.
No. That's right.
uh, y'all do all right though. I mean, me anymore. It's not about. I don't do this because I have to anymore. I do it because I want to. Um, it's
That
not
makes a
about.
big difference.
It's not about the money. It's more than the money. Now I ain't gonna go out there and truck for nothing. Now
No,
that's
no
just a
sir.
fact. But I ain't doing it for the money anymore. I do it because I want to.
Oh, yeah. There's a big
It,
difference in doing it because you want to and doing it because you have to. Big
that's
difference.
right.
Yes, sir.
I'm stepping back a little bit. I'm gonna let my boy kind of take back on the reins, do his thing, and I'm just gonna enjoy riding one of my Harley Davidsons around. Uh, I just stepped back considerably. I said all that cooler beer that they brew up there in Golden, Colorado ain't gonna drink itself.
That's right. Yes, sir.
Yeah, but you've been fixing lawnmowers lately, Mo. You ain't even Harley Davidson that much.
Well, not lately, Pete. I feel like that man from the Sling Blade. Where it ain't got no gas in it.
It
It
ain't got
says,
no gas
boy,
in it.
ain't got no gas in it.
Oh,
It's when I
man.
want to sit back and do a whole lot of nothing. Some neighbor or somebody comes along and sees me sitting up there idle drinking beer, and they think I got to go out and do something.
They ought to be ashamed of themselves trying to interrupt your drinking time like that, man. I'm alive.
That's when you sit there and do nothing and watch what they wanted you to do.
Yeah, be like I told one person one time. I was sitting at the bar.
It really does.
And I had a glass of Jim Beam sitting there, and I was enjoying that. Guy walked up, man, I need to talk to you. I said, not right now. I'm already in a conversation. I said, me and old Jim been having a conversation all evening.
Oh, wow.
And we ain't done yet. But when I get done, I will sure oblige you. So I told him, I said, it's ruined to interrupt a conversation like that.
Oh, wow.
That's right. It seemed like the last time I was to the tavern, had just a little bit too much. I ended up buying another Peterbilt, and I don't know if
Oh,
that was a good
wow.
thing or a bad thing.
I don't know,
Man
Bill.
ain't got a drinking problem. He's got a Peterbilt buying problem. Come on.
That's right. I got big problems.
That's a good problem to have, though, man. I wish I could go out and buy me one.
I just wonder when you go come drink beer at my house, Mo.
I'm gonna have some nice ice cold Coors beers, and I just might.
I can make that happen if it makes that checkbook open up.
Hey, you ain't got the right equipment. Your name ain't Mrs. Mo.
Oh, wow.
Oh hell, I'm sure that enough beer that whiskey dick can take over, and you just be opening that pocketbook because you want to.
They saying that damn old Mo, that old Mo Bandy song, Word to Dress.
Oh,
wow. They like CB Savage.
You,
I forgot about old CB Savage.
I ain't got no panties on.
Hey, that's the best way to get a radio check. I've learned over the years. If you want a radio check, you hit them. I ain't got no panties. And you get all kind of. I was riding down the road one night, y'all, and I got on the radio because I love to run my mouth on the radio. I always have. I get on there. I ain't got no panties. All of a sudden, I hear the driver. I ain't got on no panties neither, Grab. I got on draws. You had to be there.
Either that or you ride along there.
I tell you what, may or may not have contributed to the whole ready to put panties on, my
Yeah.
nightgown, and I'm ready to go to bed. You know that fella? He was all across this beautiful country of ours.
That's old
He
Bam
was
Bam from
everywhere. And I
Oklahoma
may
City.
or may not have contributed to that.
I ain't heard that name in a long time.
That was,
Hey, y'all know who I ain't heard in
he
a long
was
time?
everywhere. And he was all
I
at
ain't
the
heard that
same
old
time.
Mud Duck in a while. Mud Duck in the desert. I ain't heard him broadcasting in a long time.
Old Mud Duck been quiet. I ain't heard him in probably 2 or 3 years.
It's been about a year. We down here in these swamps in Florida, hauling them logs and being in them flatwoods. You get all kind of Skip on the radio, and I'd hear him all the time.
I had that 44 with that 6-foot wheel. Man, you pick up all kind of crap.
Yeah.
Any of y'all remember the bootlegger?
I've heard the name of a handle before.
Yeah, he used to run cars out of New Jersey up into Boston and down into Virginia.
Wow.
Why can't we all just get along, driver?
Used to hear another one, Dr. Feelgood. You'd hear him going up and down 75 all the time. He'd be agitating everybody. Dr. Feelgood.
I don't know. No. They got a Dr. Feelgood over in West Memphis. If you boys know what I'm talking about.
You got that green smoke and that blue smoke.
Yeah, get me up on that channel, boy. Come on down here. Y'all know what that is, don't you? That's a sting operation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember the first time my wife ever rode on the truck with me. We was coming through Memphis, and she's like, "I got to go to the bathroom. There's a truck stop coming up." Nah, you ain't got to go till we get on the other side of West Memphis.
I told mine, I said, if you can hold until we get to Steele, Missouri, you'll be all right.
Yeah.
I ain't stopping in West Memphis. Hell with that. Boy, that's a dangerous place. Last time I was flatbedding, I pulled in there. This been a few years ago. I pulled in there at a steel yard on the backside of West Memphis. Well, I was out on the street, and the security guard come by. And he was always a man of good taste. He had old hog leg on his side, old Ruger 45 like I got. And he walked up to my truck. He said, "Hey, man," he said, "you here for a delivery in the morning?" I said, "I am." He said, "Look," he said, "I'm going to pull you in this gate right here." He said, "Man, they shot that truck up and sitting in front of you up there. It was a day cab T800 sitting there. And they started at the top of the roof, and they come on down the door, engine compartment. I mean, they put some rounds in that truck, shot all the glass out of it. And I didn't see it until I pulled up beside it. I was parked behind it. And I told him, I said, "Well, man," I said, "I'm going to be safe behind that gate." He said, "Oh, yeah." He said, "You'll be safe behind that gate." He said, "There's about 3 of us walking around here." Shoot, I went to bed with my piece laying on my chest.
Ooh, man.
I wasn't about to get gotten in West Memphis, Arkansas.
I was driving for a guy here close to the house, and I was in a 389 Peter glider kit, and I was pulled off in West Palm down there, like a lumber yard they had. I had a load of lumber, and I had a guy climb up on the side of my truck. "Hey, driver, check this out." And I put that Black Hawk up on the door handle. "Oh, I thought you was somebody else." He was fixing to rob me. What he was fixing to do.
Yeah, Pritchard, Alabama, that's another spot. I had one get up on the side of me one night, and that ended pretty rough. But, he asked for it.
Yep.
It's like I told the cop, I said, "He ain't got no respect for me." I said, "He ain't got no respect for you. And he ain't got no respect for anybody else." So, but he going to take a screwdriver to my door lock. And I had a little short hood 379. I took pride in that little old truck. I was about 22 years old at the time. And, man, I thought that was the best thing since sliced bread. It was dolled up. It had lights all over it. It was a clean truck. They painted it like a red wine metallic. It looked kind of dull at first, but when the sunlight hit it, it would glare. And That cat walked up to my truck with that screwdriver, and he's trying to jiggle the lock. I done reached up in the top level up there. I done grabbed that Red Hawk 357 and pulled the hammer back. When he got the door open, I kicked the door open on him. I did fire a shot. I didn't get him, but he knew I was armed. And just so happened 2 cops were on duty, and they pulled up in there and took care of the situation. But they asked me, "Did you fire a shot?" I said, "I did." They said, "What was your intention?" I said, "My intention was to put him down." I said, I'm a long way from home. I said, this is my home away from home here. Breaking and entering. So, but then again, them boys over at Scales over at West Memphis took me. I had that Black Hawk in the holster and the bandolier laying in the sleeper.
Wow. Mr. M.O. said he had to take a phone call. He'll step back in later.
Okay.
Yeah, Mama M.O. probably called him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the first time I ever got to talk. I followed him for a while. First time I got to talk to him, man. He seemed like a sport model to hang out with.
He's a good fella. He calls me, I call him. We talk back and forth even on the landline.
Oh, yeah.
He a good fella.
Which I sent both of y'all a follow, that way we could all keep in contact. I'm going to try to do this every week, get together and shoot the breeze and a bunch of truck drivers and all. I like sharing these stories and talking about the good old days.
Yeah, it's just getting to work the good old days. They fading away. And, I told my kids, I said, y'all won't never know. I said, my generation was the last generation to use an atlas and a payphone.
Yep.
I said, and that was in 2005, 2006. Cell phones.
When I started driving, that's all there was payphones.
That's it. And I was, the first driving job I had, I was hauling furniture. And I've been all over the United States with Dad and them doing compressor work, but not in a truck by myself. They sent me off up in the Northeast. And I went to Dad. I said, "Look," I said, "how the hell am I going to communicate? Find this stuff." He said, "Son, ball bell." He said, "You got to get on the payphone."
That's right. Call and get them directions.
Boy, when I got a track phone, boy, I thought I was in high cotton when I got that track phone.
Oh, wow.
But AT&T would rob your butt back in the day when you get that pay as you go. It was a little old bitty phone.
Yep.
I got into Western Ohio. There ain't no service over there. Back then, I don't know what. I'm sure it is now, but up in that northwest part of Ohio, it was no service at all. Mm-hmm. Man, and plus you delivering to an Amish store up there. That was interesting.
Oh yeah. How long both of y'all been driving? How long you been driving, Marcus?
I've been driving about 20 years.
I've been doing it. I ain't but 40. I'll be 43 this year, but I've been raised since I was in diapers. I'm a young buck.
Well,
I retired in 2007.
Yes, sir. Retired. I started driving legally in 05.
Well, that's me. I started driving legally in 06.
Yeah, my first.
Yeah, we done drove around here, 16, 17 years old. Actually,
oh, yeah.
When I got my license, I had a damn pickup truck and a boat trailer.
Oh, wow.
I did, but I did the same thing, but it got me in more trouble than it was worth.
Yeah, man.
Especially when junior skip day come around in high school.
That's the problem with these young drivers, though. They get in the truck and they know everything. I'm sure you could attest to it too, Marcus. We hung out with them older hands and all that, and they kind of show you the ropes and teach you the tricks of the trade and all that. And these young
I had some good teachers, though.
I did too, man. I've always been a humble person to learn something new.
Well, I mean, we were back then. If it was in your blood, you were hungry.
That's right.
You didn't care how you got it. You didn't care what it took. You wanted it.
That's exactly right.
I had several friends that was driving at the time, and and how I got started, I was dating this old girl, and her daddy drove for Netherville out of Mississippi, and him and his brother and his dad, and they were saying they were like us. They'd been around trucking all their life. And they started working with me, and which, of course, me and old gal, we didn't make it. We broke up. But her uncle, and matter of fact, I run with him now. I'm back running with him. it's like being at home with them. I mean, John practically helped raise me, and he taught me a lot. His dad taught me a lot. His brother taught me a lot. Then Dad taught me a good bit, and so I'm real thankful for the teachers that I had.
Oh yeah.
When I started navigating, and I'll say this, and I'm sure y'all have ran into this. You got drivers out here, they act like they know it all, and them's the ones that'll get you killed.
Can't tell them nothing. They hot shots and hot rod. Oh yeah.
That's it. You can't tell them nothing.
Super truckers, as we call them. Super truckers.
I worked for an old man one time. I hit the parking lot over at Walmart there in Winsboro. I hit that son gun at 6 and 4, and well, he caught me. He said, "Look," he said, "Driver," he said, "I put you in a nice Peterbilt." I said, "You did, Mr. Wayne." He said, "Look," he said, "Hit that parking lot." He said, "Pull it down in about first or second, ease through here." He said, "When you notice a truck," he said, "let's say you out town at Sonic one night. You see an old bad Chevrolet coming through there hauling ass. You gonna pay attention to that truck?" I said, "No."
You got to take your time and creep through there. Yes, sir.
That's it. And to this day, I creep everywhere I come into.
I do too. I like for people to check me out when I'm creeping through there.
That's it. I had probably one of the ugliest Mack trucks that ever hit the highway. And them son gun, an old man in Pine Bluff told me one morning, he said, "That old truck may not look like much." He said, "But listen to that old 300 idle through here.
Oh, yeah.
You look like you've been doing it all your life." I said, "I appreciate that." And back then, I was young. I mean, and I would listen as much as I could.
Oh, yeah.
But, if it's in your blood and you want to do it, you're going to do it.
Still to this day, I've been 23 years. Next month, it'll be 23 years I've been doing it. And I still listen whenever somebody's been doing it a lot longer than me, wanting to learn something.
That's it. And my sons, they want me to it. I told them, I said, "I'm not going to keep you from it." I said, "Because it's changed so much." I said, "It's heartbreaking that you're not going to get to see trucking like I got to see trucking. And I'm not going to get to see trucking like the older hands ahead of us seen."
That's right.
And I said, I hear stories, from my uncles and stuff, drove over the years. Well, one of them was there for the strike in the 70s. Mm-hmm. And, sit down and get to listen to all that. It's pretty fun. And that's just like aircraft. I'm an airplane nut. And my oldest boy, they got a strip over by the house, and a guy flew in he flew an old AdCat in, and he said, "What kind of engine is that, Dad?" I said, "That's a radio." And I said, "I grew up around in radios." And I said, "And that's a sound that you'll never forget."
Mm-hmm.
And that's gone now. All we have around here are turbines. That's all you hear is turbines now.
About like a mechanical motor in a truck, man. They ain't no sound like it, man. It just give you goosebumps, especially listening to one fire up.
That's it. I busted Daddy's A model off here a while back. And my oldest boy looked at me and said, "That thing's making a lot of noise." I said, "Son, that's all that horsepower under there."
Like my mama's calling in. "All right, Mama, I appreciate you helping me moderate stuff and all that. We'll holler at you tomorrow."
Yeah, my engine of preference when I was driving was a 318 Detroit.
Oh, I like to hear them too.
That's it. That came with six heads and come from the pits of hell, wouldn't it? Old Screaming Jimmy. I worked on them things a lot also.
You had two different types of people that run them. Actually, three different types. You had the guys that run them low and killed them. They make them start sniffing oil and then that damn thing and run away. Then you got the guys got to have it right on the governor all the time.
And then you got that guy like me that got run out of town. Never told me to come back.
Band, just like you would a Cummins or a Cat. You bring it right in there, bring it up to about 1950, maybe 2100. That thing will sing you a tune.
I ran an old AV92 a couple times for a guy. He had it in an old truck that they moved equipment with. And it had a great sound to it, but I worked a lot of them engines like 671s and the 318s. We had a lot of them offshore on the cranes and generators and in the boats and stuff. And they're very unique to work on. I mean, when you tell somebody that's a two-stroke diesel, they're like, "I thought diesels were four-stroke." No, these are two-stroke.
Nope.
These are GM products. And GM, they developed a hell of an engine, and they're still going strong. But unfortunately, now we got the DD16 and the DD13. That's all European style now, and I freaking hate it. I hate it with passion.
Yeah, them new Detroits are jumping. I fell out with them after they quit making the 60 series.
Yep, and I told a guy he worked for Detroit. And he said, "Well, what do you think about the DD16?" I said, "Be honest with you, you're trying to implement European style into America." Yep. And there's nothing wrong with changing a few things. I said, but now we have to go back to the drawing board as mechanics. We have to go back to the drawing board. We have to buy all these specialty tools to work on it, all these other programs to program it. Damn, we just got everything available for the damn 60 series.
Yeah.
And to think with the old engines like the Cummins, if it died, you just turn a screw in on the back of the pump and light it back off. And it'll
exactly.
Run out.
That's it. If that fuel shut off solenoid went out, you reach down there and screwed that screw, went on about your business.
Yes, sir.
You can't now. You got to dial Mexico and go to Canada and pass it through Congress and then hit enter to get that.
You got to have a college education degree to work on them now, man. They ain't a such thing as mechanics no more. They're technicians.
Yeah, they're technicians.
You think these trucks are bad? You ought to try working on some of these cars that I got to work on.
No, man.
Yeah.
I left trucking and went back to automotives because I just got tired of being out on the road all the time.
Yeah. I got 7 diesel sitting right here. Nerve-wracking.
I wish the hell the industry would change back to what it was because I'd sure love getting another damn truck.
Well, it's funny you say that because I got a feeling I see they were trying to, I think, have they voted in the broker transparency to, they can't hide what the freight's paying anymore.
They can't hide it anymore.
Well, and I think that's going to be a major game changer.
If they hire a carrier that's unsafe and he wrecks the truck, the broker's now liable for the damages.
Gotcha. Well, I figured TQL, they're going to be the first ones to go. They hide a lot. And then they want to call you at like 2 a.m. when you're in the sleeper berth. Where are you at?
Yeah,
a lot of what I hear now, with the TikTok and everything, you've got there's more of us can sit and talk like we were sitting in a parking lot.
Oh, yeah.
And I hear the same conversations that I heard in 98.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same conversation. It hasn't changed in all this time.
Well, we're still out here making 1970, 1980 pay, and it's just like I told Swampy earlier before you come out. Yep. Our damn maintenance hasn't changed. I mean, the price of fuel's at an all-time high. Our insurance is getting higher in Louisiana. It's nutty. And now we got to go through the act of Congress to get an apportion tag. We're sitting out here beating our heads against the wall, and trucking is ran by people that have never trucked.
Yep, you're right.
And that's it's not making any sense. They won't know how, Donald Trump's doing what he's doing. Well, he's a businessman.
Yep.
He's at the helm of millions and millions and millions. He knows how to negotiate. He knows what to do. So he's the man for the job. Meanwhile, on the trucking side, we got all these mega carriers out here that are putting their 2 cents in, and 9 times out of 10, they're sitting behind a desk in a white shirt, and they've never been
in a truck. Yep. Amen.
You hand him a damn tire thumper, he wouldn't know what to do with it.
Just the hired help is that way, a damn dispatcher.
Yeah.
I can remember a woman telling me on the phone, and this was back in the early 2000s. They had me coming out of Indianapolis, and I had to go over all the way to western Pennsylvania, and they wanted me to do it in an hour. I said, no, that's 200 miles. That ain't going to happen.
Wow.
Oh, it's only 2 inches on the map.
2 inches on the map.
I've had that happen to me before.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I'm sitting there. I had a girl do that to me one time, and I told her, I said, honey, you don't know how to read a tape measure, do you? And she thought about it. She goes, that's kind of vulgar, don't you think? I said, well, Ellie, you trying to send me 2 inches across the map? Yeah. I said, do you know what the scale is for that 2 inches? No, not really. I said, well, go figure. I said, you ever heard of Google Maps or what was that other program we used to run?
Well, when you bring up Google Maps, it brings up the scale right in the lower right-hand corner of the screen.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know, it doesn't hide
Like when
anything.
you used to open the Atlas up down in the corner, there was a legend that told you what was what.
That's right.
That's it. You had a legend, you know, and I mean, it's just like a girl told me one time. So I need you to hurry up and get on through Fort Worth and Dallas. I said, lady, it's 90 miles from Fort Worth city limits to the Dallas city limits.
Yeah.
I said, you got all that damn traffic. I said, I'm going to hit traffic at about 5 o'clock. I said, that ain't happening today, honey. I said, y'all should have waited
boys
this
that are
morning.
going downhill today because of the fuel prices. Those are the ones that don't understand the business.
Yep.
What I'm trying to figure out is, Redneck, is how does a trash product cost so much? Diesel is a byproduct of gasoline.
Yes, sir.
It's a
And in
byproduct.
1998, when I got my authority, diesel was cheaper than gasoline.
Yep, it was. I remember Dad. He started trucking that I remember. We actually bought our first truck. Ended up with Grandpa's old white Freightliner cab over. Diesel was I think like 89 cents. This was in like 93, 94. Somewhere around in there, if I remember right.
Yep.
Well, he bought another truck, and then we upgraded. We finally bought his first Peterbilt, and we were on our way to Crowley, Louisiana with a load of rice. And he was listening to the morning report. OPEC had got involved. This was in like 98, 99, somewhere around in there. OPEC had got involved, and diesel was going to $1.20 a gallon. And, buddy, them suckers was raising hell.
They were cutting up, I bet. Man,
look, we got down there, them coon asses down there around Crowley, son. They were fit to be tied. Because back then, rice didn't pay but maybe, 70, 80 cents a hundred. We're barely getting by then. Now, it pays
Well,
$1 to $3.
back when that happened, we hit Washington. We went in there and we went into the Congress and we raised hell with them.
Yep.
And we told them the next time it's not going to be this cordial.
Well, I told them when all this stuff happened last time.
That's why when the COVID thing come around and Rat Rod and all those guys went up there and hit Washington, they stopped them at the exit ramp. Says, no, you ain't going no further.
Yep.
And what I'm trying to figure out is why should we have to get permission to be on a piece of property that we pay taxes on?
That's a good question. That's a good question.
Washington belongs to us.
Yep.
We pay for that. Every citizen in this country pays for that. But yet you'll get arrested if you're caught there unauthorized.
Well, a lot of the problem is nowadays, too, there ain't enough truck drivers out there, and that they don't care about this country. They just here to get what they can get. They ain't got to live here forever like we. You know what I mean?
I love this country to death, but I refuse to be triple taxed.
Amen.
That's it. And in Louisiana, we
I shut down. I sat down, was doing the paperwork, and I said, you know what? I pay IRP to register my damn truck, and it says right on that paper that I have to pay the use tax based on what I plan to run weight.
Yep.
And then I gotta pay that damn $22.90, which is the IRS use tax.
Yep.
Now I'm being taxed again on the same damn truck.
Then you got to pay IFTA.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now you pay the tax at the pump. Then you divvy it up between the states you run in and give them their share. Wait a minute.
Exactly.
I paid the tax at the pump.
Don't make no sense.
I like to get thrown in jail in New Mexico.
If I put 20 gallons of gas in my old Ford and I want to run up to Rhode Island, all I got to do is put gas in the damn thing. Why can't it be that way with my other truck?
That's it, and we're so damn regulated to the point where it's done regulated people out of business. That's the reason I sold my trucks. I pulled in the driveway one morning here at that last Freightliner I bought. I had a FLD, a 94 model. I worked hard to get the truck. I got it paid for. And I went to running numbers and looking at figures and everything. The haul that I had, it was fading away. I said, there ain't no way to win. So I put it up for sale. And a buddy of mine asked me, he said, well, how bad was it? I said, well, I mean, you're triple taxed on everything. I said, we are taxed to the point to where I said, we're taxed out of business.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you get done paying all those taxes, at the end of the year, you get to pay tax on what was left over.
You think about it, trucking is the most
well, you gotta go
overtaxed and overregulated industry there is in this country.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
And y'all think that's bad. Our poor farmers around here, man.
Mm-hmm.
Them poor scoundrels.
When I put my first truck on the road, I had a 71 Chevrolet Titan. That was my first 318. It had an 18 speed in it.
Man.
At 62 mile an hour was all it would do, but it worked for what we were doing. It cost me $900 to put that on the road.
Wow.
62 mile an hour, I'd have to sit on my hands to keep them getting along.
Look over in Swift be going around you or something.
Hey, I tell you this. Now, my old Freightliner that I sold, it was no aero truck, and it was set at like 68 miles an hour.
Wow.
That was it didn't bother me to run 68. It really didn't. But now I'm back in them big rides, and I mean, you got all the power in the world. This morning, I'd ride along here. I took out a Rabel there to 138, and I was bringing that old MXS online. Boy, I was listening to it rumble and everything. I was looking at the speed on it. Speed on it said 55. I said, it ain't no damn way I'm doing 55. I jumped on my GPS on my phone on here and pulled it up. 55 was 75.
Wow.
Yeah, it's bad off. I gotta get it dialed in.
No matter what I drive, when I get in it and I get out on the interstate, I lock in at 72 mile an hour. It's automatic. I don't care if I'm driving somebody's Volkswagen or I'm in a trailer truck.
I ran the whole United States at
72, and that's where we ride until the traffic won't let me.
Yeah, 72 miles an hour is really all you need if you think about it. I mean, it's safe
in a lot of states.
Yeah. Well, you know, when I broke out with Vineyard, all of our company trucks were set at 72 miles an hour. Now, we had a couple, like I ran, like some of us went out to Midland and Arizona, and we took them around back behind the shop, made sure nobody was looking, and let the mad scientist have his way with the ECM. Because, I mean, you going out there 72 mile an hour, you get west of Abilene, Ranger Hill, you just asking for trouble. You're going to get blowed off the road.
Yep.
And it almost happened to me. Guy running a damn Superliner Mac, he was out of somewhere in the Carolinas. And this thing had he had a 12-cylinder Allison on the hood.
Mm.
He had the damn radiator was hanging up under the bumper.
Damn.
And he come by me. I done got on out of town. I went out of Abilene and in that straight stretch. And it's 2:00 in the morning. You ain't thinking about nothing. I see these headlights coming, and that song, I can see them just a shaking. I said, man, I don't know what the hell that is, or whatever it is, it's coming on this way.
I'm going to get out the way.
Man, at that time, all I heard was, whoa. I said, what the hell was that? And all I caught was like a candy apple green paint.
Wow.
And I remember the paint. Well, the truck stop was coming up, and I seen him when he got off. I said, I got to see this. I hit the fuel aisle, and lo and behold, it was an old man. It was an old Superliner Mac. I said, man, what the hell you got in that thing? He said, yeah. He said, out here you got to be able to run. He said, otherwise you get blowed off the road. I said, well, I understand that. I said, I was doing 83 miles an hour, and I said, you took my mirrors, paint, and everything else. I'd like to have my sticker back, you know.
Oh, yeah.
He pulled the hood back, and that baby had an Allison on the hood.
Wow.
Well, he had a 6 and a 4 main, and then he had another 4 behind it.
Man alive.
Sitting on 323 rear ends. That son gonna do nothing but roll, Jack.
Mm.
Yeah, that's a little faster than I want to go.
Man, look, I asked him, I said, where's top end at? He said, I ain't never found it.
Ooh, and the man probably wasn't lying to you neither.
He seriously could be. And I wish back
when the wife and I got up to where we could afford a new truck, I bought a brand new 03 379. Had to have the American class interior, and she picked out the color.
Way to go.
Hawaiian orchid.
That's the only way to go.
Yes,
and I'll tell you what now, 111 mile an hour on the cruise control.
Wow.
Yeah, the next
Old
thing
600 cat, get right out and stroll.
Wow.
yeah, it ain't nothing like 3 o'clock in the morning going, what's ain't been the problem, Ossifer?
Do you know why I pulled you over, driver?
I over that truck for about 3 days before I actually turned it in. I didn't want to do it.
Well, they bought me a new International one time. One of the Pro Stars had that X15 in it, one of the first X15. And I was kind of skeptical about it. It had a 13-speed transmission. I'm going down through Houston at about 3 o'clock in the morning, son. I'm just getting up, son. We getting on down 59.
Yes, sir.
I look up my mirror, and here comes one in black and whites.
Oh,
And
man.
he walked up to the truck. He said, son, what are you doing out here? I said, well, I got delivery down here at one of these grocery hubs. He said,
you guys was out running the road how long ago? You started what, 05, 06?
I started in 05.
I started in
Did you ever hear of the Snapper Trapper?
That handle sounds very familiar. Where did he run out of?
He was originally out of Narragansett, Rhode Island.
Ooh, he's way up there.
Oh. That name sounds.
Well, I ran 48.
So
I used
like
to
I
run
heard
Hunts
that
Point
name,
a
that
lot
name
back in
around
the day.
Baltimore.
I had a Lion Orchid Peterbilt with a pink and turquoise stripe on the door and a big old sticker on the back said, "It's not purple."
That sounds familiar, though.
It does sound familiar. That's a unique truck. You won't ever forget that.
No, you won't.
I ran mostly step deck. I did a little bit of RGN work with it, but
Did you ever pull for Ryerson Steel? Because I remember
I've been to so many damn steel mills.
well, I used to catch Ryerson over out of Pennsylvania, and my main run used to be I'd catch Ryerson out of Pennsylvania down to Oklahoma City, and then I would catch what they had in Oklahoma City and bring it on down to Houston. And it was like specialty metal, like tubing and square tubing and stuff like that.
I used to do a lot of backhauls out of Oklahoma, out of Tulsa.
Yeah, they got one
out
there.
of that galvanized plant that they had over there on the edge of town.
Yeah, I hated that damn place. They had a lady in there. I don't.
So fucking bad. Excuse my language.
Well, they had a lady in there. I get there. I had like an 8 a.m. appointment to pick up. I go in. I get there at 7:30. I go on in, check in, and they let them know I'm there. Sir, your appointment's not till 8 a.m. I said, I can tell time. I'm fully capable. I said, I figured I'd get here a little early. You're going to have to sit and wait. I said, that's fine with me. I said, just let me know when y'all can get me. Well, I don't know when we'll get you. I said, well, I had an 8 a.m. appointment. I hope y'all get me around 8 a.m. Well, sir, that's probably not going to happen today.
Wow.
I said, if it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't. I said, you ain't got to get all emotional about it. Now, when I said that, you could just see the red ass just come down her face. Excuse my language. But walked out of there, and I went chuckling as I walked to the truck. And old boy said, he said, that old woman's in that office? I said, yeah. And I said, I just put her in a good mood, son. Just go right on in there.
Come on and say hello.
Yeah. He
I
come
used to
out of
love
there.
to
He
go
said,
in them places like that.
he come out of there. He said, driver, he said, I don't know what you told that woman in there. He said, that son gonna like the bitter tongue off. She didn't want to talk. No.
I used to love to go in them kind of places and kill them with kindness. It just makes it day even worse.
That's it. That is it. Me being from the South, but you from the South as well, y'all know that bless your heart. That's
right.
That's the main thing to go to.
That's right. Bless your heart. There you go.
But man, it ain't no sense having a bad attitude. If you don't like your job, go home.
That's right. That's exactly right.
But some people out here, they don't get that.
I'm watching this shit show come apart because it's going to happen. This industry has just gone too far. There's too many people and too many pockets, and the only way to just shut it down and start it over.
Well, and that's what needs to happen. I'm kind of like my uncle. It's time for the little man to come back.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
granted, yeah, I like what Warner's done. Warner paved the way for a lot of stuff. But the thing about it is, these mega carriers are also invested in the railroad. And anytime the railroad is involved, that is taking loads away from trucks.
There you go.
Granted, it's moving commodity, but like us, we're hauling grain around here. We got all these damn railheads.
You got to remember, you got to keep moving up the food chain for that, because the entire trucking industry is a subsidiary of the railroad.
Exactly. Yep. I mean, anytime you pull up to a railroad crossing, you see Swift, you see Snyder, you see J.B. Hunt, you see Airland Sea Logistics, you see Werner, Swift. I mean, it just the list goes on and on and on. And then when you go to looking at the board of directors, they're all tied.
Yeah.
They're all tied. And, I'm sitting here thinking, all you doing is killing the little man. You're killing the people that's actually getting out here wanting to work.
Yep.
The American dream, it used to be the American dream, but it's a nightmare now.
You got the NGOs like the American Trucking Association. That organization is so damn corrupt. They're supposed to be lobbying for our favor, and they don't.
That's the thing. There's a lot of corruption in the trucking, and too much corruption. Just
that American trucks deal. That's the biggest crock of bull that I have ever seen in my life. They're not lobbying for me and you. They're lobbying for these mega carriers.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna stand up there. We're all for this and we're all for that. And I'm sitting here going, "You lying sacco." It's just.
I always noticed that anytime you get a company with more than 10 trucks, you lose the personality.
You do.
It ain't family because you don't know the guy. There's that truck over there. Have fun. I got shit to do.
Either that or in my case, I face this problem a lot. You go to work for this fine company and the old man or the family dies and the youngins take over and run it in the dirt. That happens a lot too.
Well, it's kind of like my mother. She used to work for a hardware company down here. My granddaddy retired from him after 52 years. He started out in the gravel pit and worked his way to the store. And Mr. Asa started the company back in the 20s, early 1900s. Well, Mr. Ernest took over. And Mr. Ernest told me, he said, "I'm going to tell you how business works these days." He said, "The first generation is going to build it. The second generation is going to add to it. But the third generation, they're going to run it to the ground. Yep. It will go out. It'll be done." And that's what's happening here now.
They didn't have to put the work in to build it up to what it is. They don't care about it.
Exactly.
They don't have the passion.
Well, they don't know how to deal with people, and that's happened here in the industry too.
Yeah.
It's a lot of heartlessness out here. And, I mean, a lot of unkindness. I mean, they treat us like we're trash.
Yeah.
And I'm good with that. If you want to treat me like that, hey, that's fine.
That's
good
right.
Lord watching. I ain't got to deal with you.
That's right.
But
when I was a kid, I was 11 years old. My daddy bought me a CB radio so I could talk to the truck drivers, and that was the coolest shit in the world to me.
Yep. Truck drivers used to be heroes back in the day. Yeah, heroes, exactly. That's right, Marcus.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, that's who you looked up to. I mean, growing up, I looked up to the older guys. I looked up to my dad. I looked up to my uncles. They were out there, still doing it old school, and.
Man, back in the day, if somebody broke down, you'd have 2 or 3 truck drivers stop to check on you, make sure you was all right. They was the good guys out there on the highway.
Now you don't know whether the dude's going to jump out of the truck and point a gun at you.
Yeah, it's crazy.
The biggest thing I ever laughed at, I was down in South Texas. I was headed down to Corpus with a load. And a cab over had blew up on the side of the road down there on 77 just out of Victoria.
Oh, wow.
Well, I'm coming through there. Well, there's 2 or 3 guys in a pickup truck. They done pulled the cab over. They're tearing this 4 1/4 down in the middle of the road, Jack.
Helping each other.
I go down. I make my run. I'm loading up trash paper going back to Campy, Louisiana. I get it on the next morning. I come back through. I see smoke swirling out the exhaust on this cab over. They done overhauled that baby overnight. They done put liners, pistons, and another head on, and they were cranking up and leave with that truck. And I'm sitting here thinking, I said, you don't see that anymore. I said, if that had been anybody else, you'd have seen a wrecker, a huge ass shop bill, and that'd have been the end of the discussion.
Yep.
But now this guy knew some people, son. They all piled in there. It must have been like 8 or 9 of them. and they went to tearing down. When I come through, they had the head off. They were pulling liners when I was coming through.
That's like old Nick Dow down here just come look at the movies and songs back in the day. Man, we had our own culture back in the day. Movies about us, everything. Songs.
Thanks to C.W. McCall and Jerry Reed.
And whenever I started this whole thing in social media, I made it my point, my goal to just show people what trucking culture used to be. Maybe it'll take off. Maybe something good's got to come out of it.
That's it, and the young generation can't understand, when we see an old 77 or 78 KW,
man.
We're like, oh, I'd love to have that. I just cream my pants watching that sucker roll by, and they're like, it's just a truck. It's not just a truck to me.
We did that to ourselves because we made the kids wear helmets when they ride bicycles. And, So, who do we got to blame for that, guys? Come on now.
Well, excuse my language. Now, here's how I run my household. I got 6 kids in total. I got 2 step, and then I got 2 previous marriage. She's got 2 previous marriage, and then we got 2 together. And the way I run my household, I run it just like my dad. I run, fuck around and find out.
Exactly.
That is the only way that they're going to learn. You can give them all the advice in the world. You can shelter them. You can cover them. And you can do all this in the world to keep the bad away. But at some point, they got to bump their head to get the message. I tell them all the time, if a frog had wings, he wouldn't bump his ass when he jumped.
You're right. I got that conversation, too.
Yeah. What's bad, y'all? I'm a girl dad. I got girls, and my girls are tougher than most boys. They're tougher than most of these young boys out here now. I'm like, what in the world, man?
My two daughters are the toughest guys I'll ever raise.
Yes.
They are tough. But they have to be. They're outnumbered here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I raised 12 of them.
Oh, man. You need some kind of award.
Well, they weren't even my kids. They were my sister's kids, and she went stupid and got all doped up. Somebody had to go, so I stepped up.
My hat's off to you.
Every one of them kids knows who Uncle Pete is.
That's my hat's off to you. I mean, I'm raising 2 here. Their dad ain't been. He's in the picture. I run my
house on the baseball rule: 3 strikes and you're out.
There you go.
First time I tell you to do it.
There you go.
The second time I ask you, why didn't you do it yet? The third time you're just being disrespectful and we'll light you up.
That's what this kids need nowadays.
Well, here I have to if I get one, I got to get them all. It's kind of like a Marine thing. If one of you was involved, all of you were involved.
Well,
yeah, gonna tell you
them do it, did it?
Yeah, that's it. I told them in there one day, they had messed up one of my wife's mops. And she's real anal about her cleaning supplies.
Oh, yeah.
You don't jack with them. I don't jack with them. Well, somebody messed the mop up. Well, nobody knows who done it. Nobody knows what happened. We just know it got broken. It was in the middle of the floor, and it was about a $30 mop.
Wow.
I said, I guess I'm like Louis Grizzard. I guess the damn dog did it. Somebody go get the dog. I got to talk to him.
Oh, man.
But it's always something around here. It's a circus.
I had one day, I had a fleet truck that went down and I'd put an exhaust system on it. And I opened the garage door up, rolled the truck in there, and I says, all right, we got all the new pipe. I'm going to weld everything together. And I grabbed the MIG welder and I turned it on and I squeezed the trigger and nothing happened. Well, that's odd. That's a brand new spool of wire. So I opened up the case, and the whole wire had come unwound.
Oh.
They were in there with a pair of side cutters trying to cut it loose to get it unwound.
Oh. I think the worst thing I ever did, my dad had a Fred Bear bow. And his dad bow hunted a little bit. Well, me and a buddy of mine got together. I was going to learn how to shoot bow. So I got the bow, got with him, and Dad said, look, take care of my bow now. And I would always tell him when I would get it. Well, this particular day, I couldn't find him. He was either in the trucks or around the gin or somewhere. So I grabbed him, went on to Aaron's house, and we're shooting out there, shooting and everything, having a good time. Everything's normal. I go to make one last shot, and this damn thing disintegrated.
Oh.
Dude, you talk about.
Oh, man.
Aaron looked at me and he went, ooh, you in trouble. I said, shit, trouble. I'm a dead man walking. We are done. I said, I can hear it now. I said, they's going to kill me. Well, I got home. I didn't hide it. I laid the boat up on the table. Daddy said, well, I knew that bound to happen. I said, what do you mean you knew it was bound to happen? He said, well, I had to set it 75 pounds. He said, think about it. He said, you don't shoot it but like maybe once or twice a year.
Wow.
You're in there constantly shooting it, Marcus. He said, you need to get you a boat that's got speed cams on it. I said, you ain't mad? He said, yeah, I'm a little pissed. He said, that's a Fred Bear. You don't find it. So I felt bad about that one, but.
Well, I always tried to show them the error in their ways. You know, once all the screaming and butt whooping's done, it's time to say, you know, you got to understand why I did what I did.
Now, we institute that.
The other thing that parents don't do, and that's why these kids got like they are.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
then you got DCYF coming in there and saying, well, you can't chastise your kids. And when you look in the eye and say, lady, have you got kids? Well, no.
Yeah.
Well, what gives you the right to come in my house and tell me how to raise a child? You go chase these 12 hellions for about 4 hours and you see how close you come.
It goes back to the thing we was talking about. We got people in trucking who don't know nothing about trucks or anything.
That's it. They enter here, they'll leave here with a dope problem.
I knew about trucks before I ever got in one.
Marcus, Redneck, I enjoyed talking to y'all, but I believe we fixing to have to hop off here pretty soon.
Yeah, I figured Mrs. She's going to be asking where I'm at, but I have enjoyed this.
Man, I have too. I'm glad I met the both of y'all.
Time.
Yeah, we need to do it again now. We're going to be back on here tomorrow night with music.
MO goes live from time to time, so
okay.
You'll probably see an invite here and there.
Yeah, man. Y'all more than welcome to stop by and chew the fat with me anytime y'all want to. I'm glad we met. I enjoyed it. Yes,
now,
sir. Y'all have a good night.
To go live a little bit. I just ain't had the opportunity. So I need to start because now I got another cool ride, so I may start more.
You got to. All right, we'll put it on y'all drivers more later. Enjoyed it.
Bo Roger, we gone, buddy. Have a good evening.
Riding.
All right, shiny side up, boys.
Y'all too.